The Amazon River is a breathtaking and iconic force of nature, a true lifeline of the rainforest. But make no mistake, it might just be the deadliest place on Earth. Nearly every creature that calls it home is fully equipped to take you out. So brace yourself as we dive into the 15 newest and most terrifying river monsters of the Amazon. Number 15. Gunch. Much like the gruff and other sinister storybook beasts, the gunch is just as terrifying as it sounds, mostly because so little is known about it. But what we do know about this mysterious fish is enough to know that we really shouldn't be underestimating it. Part of the reason that the gunch is such a mystery is that it's so darn hard to find. But that would really give it a bit more weight. It would probably weigh. Some fishermen have been known to spend months waiting to catch one of these things in its most frequent spots, only to come up empty. But those that have caught one have a story to tell, with some describing it as a raging bull. Apparently, this fish is so fierce that it's been known to take on a crocodile without any fear. And given their average size is over 300 pounds, that sounds about right. While most anglers have been unsuccessful in catching the legendary gunch, those who have triumphed are quick to point out how deadly it can be. A 300-pound fish with sharp teeth and a lot of confidence certainly makes for a potentially dangerous experience. I guess the freaky-sounding name adds up. You can look forward to my upcoming storybook, How the Gunch Stole Christmas. Number 14. Redtail Catfish. Usually, if an animal isn't known to attack or feast on humans, that's some kind of relief. In the case of the redtail catfish, not so much. It is a little bit of a relief, but I'm not chomping at the bit to go and give this guy a hug, you know? The red-tailed catfish gets its name from being a catfish with a red tail, but you probably already worked that out. They can reach up to 5 feet or more in length and weigh up to 180 pounds, making them a popular target for fishermen who just really want to work on their biceps. Generally, these animals are peaceful towards humans, preferring to stay completely motionless in the day and only eat at night. But make no mistake, they are territorial fish. If they are not happy about you moving in their territory, you better expect them to take action. The red-tailed catfish is aggressive and highly predatory, both to other fish and to human aggressors. And if you're new to the world of catfish, they're not like cats. Seriously, you can toss a ball of wool into the water, and they will do nothing. They'll just ignore it. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm still doing it. Number 13. Giant Otter. Bet you never expected an otter to be lurking in the murky waters of the Amazon River, huh? The giant otter is also one of the world's longest river otters, hence the name. It's also an apex predator in this unique ecosystem, so basically, it's not a cuddly little guy. On average, the giant otter can measure anywhere between 3.25 and 4.5 feet long and weigh between 49 and 71 pounds. Naturally, they require a massive amount of food, eating somewhere between 6 and 9 pounds every day. While they mostly tend to eat fish, the giant otter is also known to prey on small anacondas, caimans, crustaceans, and a whole host of other sea creatures. Basically, they'll eat just about anything they can get their hands on, making them one of the deadliest animals lurking in the dark, muddy waters of the Amazon. Chances are you didn't expect the giant otter to even live in the Amazon, let alone be one of the most dangerous predators. But if you need to eat 9 pounds of food every single day, I guess it's inevitable that you'll become a force to be reckoned with, right? Number 12. Paraiba. Okay, so technically, this one is called the Brachyplatystoma, but it's kind of just not fair to me, your friendly neighborhood voiceover artist, to have to keep saying Brachyplatystoma. So instead of Brachyplatystoma, we're gonna call it the Paraiba. Anyway, the Brachyplatystoma is so deadly, Paraiba, man, God, I need to remember that. The Paraiba is the largest species of all Amazonian catfish, often known as the freshwater shark. I spent all that time clearing that up that I could have just called it a freshwater shark. Anyway, this catfish is one of the most notorious predators in the Amazon River, one of the most active hunters who will go after just about any living animal it happens to see. And yes, that does include humans. Local fishermen from the area have been known to tell tales of people mysteriously disappearing in catfish territory. I have a feeling they're not going on moonlight walks. While there is a dispute over exactly how big the Paraiba is, we know for a fact that it is big and deadly. The largest recorded Paraiba weighed a whopping 341 pounds, which I think we can all relate to post-Christmas. Number 11. Bull shark. The more you hear about the Amazon, the more horrifying it sounds, right? Yes, believe it or not, the Amazon River has sharks, and one of the most aggressive sharks in the world, too. What a fun time for all those clueless Amazonian animals. Well, the bull shark may look a little unimpressive and generic compared to some other species. It's most definitely one of the deadlier sharks in the world. What makes the bull shark especially terrifying is its unique ability to survive in both saltwater and freshwater, thanks to special adaptations in its kidneys and liver. Juveniles are often born in freshwater rivers where there are fewer predators, making the Amazon the perfect nursery. These sharks have been spotted as far inland as Iquitos, Peru, over 2,000 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. They're stealthy, silent swimmers that can strike with almost no warning. Unlike many marine predators, bull sharks are notoriously unpredictable and are considered responsible for more unprovoked attacks on humans than any other species. Their stocky, muscular build makes them excellent ambush hunters in murky water. Fishermen in Amazonian villages have long told stories of river monsters pulling livestock from the shore. Turns out, those monsters are very real and have rows of razor-sharp teeth. In fact, they're known to swim thousands of miles upriver just for the chance of getting a nice bite to eat. They can glide along with just the lazy movement of that tail. And I'm sure everybody knows sharks don't just eat fish. They're also known to eat animals as big as, hippos. Maybe that's not so common in the Amazon, but if these animals can eat hippos, it stands to reason that they can eat pretty much anything they want. The bull shark is really not an animal to underestimate. With the strongest bite of any shark in the world and a willingness to eat everything from fish to other bull sharks, there's absolutely no end to the capabilities of this predator. If you weren't scared of the Amazon before, this will probably do the trick. Now it's time for today's topic. In June 2025, a drone expedition launched by a wildlife documentary team surveying biodiversity along the Purus River, a remote tributary of the Amazon, made a chilling discovery that has stunned herpetologists worldwide. While scanning a muddy offshoot deep within the rainforest canopy, the drone captured crystal-clear aerial footage of what appears to be a massive aggregation of green anacondas, possibly hundreds of them, coiled together in the shallows of a secluded oxbow stream. The footage shows the snakes, many of which appear to exceed 20 feet in length, slithering in synchronized patterns through the muddy water. The site has been dubbed the Anaconda Nest by researchers due to its density and the coordinated presence of both mature males and females. Experts from Brazil's National Institute of Amazonian Research, INPA, believe this could be the first documented case of seasonal anaconda congregation behavior, possibly linked to mating or thermoregulation. Local indigenous communities have long told stories of snake rivers, waterways that should be avoided during certain times of the year. Now, for the first time, science has the visual proof to back up those legends. This is a reminder. The Amazon still hides creatures and behaviors that science is only beginning to understand. Number 10. Electric eel. We all know that water and electricity don't mix, so the idea of an electric fish is just inherently dangerous. Thankfully, there's only one species of electric fish in the world. Unfortunately, it's exactly as dangerous as you'd expect it to be. The electric eel is native to the rivers of South America, including the Amazon. It doesn't use its electricity just for defense. Electric eels rely on electric pulses to navigate, hunt, and even communicate. In murky waters where visibility is low, they emit weak electric fields to sense their surroundings, like a biological radar. When they detect movement, they can suddenly unleash a powerful jolt to stun prey instantly. Some eels have been seen repeatedly shocking their prey to disable it before swallowing it whole. Their shocks can last for several seconds and are strong enough to knock a grown adult off their feet. Researchers studying electric eels use rubber gloves and insulated tools to avoid accidental electrocution. Incredibly, they've also been documented leaping out of the water to deliver shocks directly to threats on land. Their ability to weaponize their entire body makes them one of the most unique predators in the animal kingdom. Its body is finely tuned and designed for maximum shock, with all its vital organs found in the body's front 20%. The other 80% is made up of 6,000 cells, all brimming with electrical energy that helps the eel to generate a 600-volt sting. You can imagine how much damage an 8-foot-long electric eel could cause, right? And to answer the question that I know you're asking, yes, they're perfectly capable of generating an intense electric shock underwater. And yes, it will hurt as much as you'd think. Generally speaking, electric eels don't tend to attack humans. However, it's not unheard of. There have been reports of humans drowning after suffering a particularly nasty shock from an aggressive electric eel. And no, the eels are never charged for their crimes. Some inappropriate wordplay for you there. I'm sure you're buzzing. I need to stop. Number 9. Giant leech. You don't go to the Amazon expecting to see some curious small little animals. This is a river notorious for having some of the largest and most horrifying predators in the world, and it more than lives up to its reputation with the giant leech. The Amazon giant leech is one of the world's largest, capable of growing up to 18 inches. They're also capable of living up to 20 years, which is a thought that will almost definitely keep you awake. Even more disturbing is their feeding method. They don't just suck blood. They secrete a powerful anticoagulant that keeps the wound open and bleeding long after they've detached. Some victims have reported continuous bleeding for hours after encountering one. The leech's muscular body allows it to stretch and contract rapidly, making it a stealthy ambush predator in muddy waters. These parasites can lie in wait beneath vegetation or silt, undetected until it's too late. And yes, they've been found attached to legs, arms, and in one documented case even inside a person's nose. While they're mostly found in remote parts of the Amazon, occasional reports surface from tributaries closer to human settlements. Scientists studying them have to handle them with extreme caution and wear protective gear. Their resilience and adaptability are what allowed them to survive unnoticed for decades. Of course, this leech is a blood feeder, which makes sense given its incredibly large teeth. Once it inserts its proboscis into its chosen host, the leech begins sucking out the blood before falling off. Even saying it makes your arms go a little weak, right? Even the animal's discovery in the 1970s came as something of a surprise to scientists, who long believed the species was extinct. Well, they used the word believed, but I think we all know what they really mean, hoped. The giant Amazon leech is the kind of nightmare you expect to see in creature features, but I'm sorry to say that this thing is very, very real and very deadly. You don't want to be on the receiving end of this guy. You'll have no blood left. Number 8. Kangaroo. Despite the adorable name, the kangaroo or toothpick fish is far from the cute, cuddly animal you wish it was. Actually, it's one of the most terrifying animals in the Amazon River, a parasitic freshwater fish that is more feared than the piranha. The kangaroo is a translucent eel-shaped fish that feeds on the blood of their prey. Growing only about an inch long, these fish are incredibly thin, sometimes as slender as a pencil lead, making them almost invisible in murky water. They are equipped with backward-facing spines that lock them in place once they've lodged themselves inside their host. Once in position, they use specialized jaws to pierce blood vessels and feed directly from the bloodstream. Most fish don't even have a chance to react before the kangaroo is already feeding. While attacks on humans are rare, they've been documented in medical journals, and yes, they're just as horrifying as they sound. In some extreme cases, the only solution is invasive surgery to remove the fish. Folklore surrounding the kangaroo is widespread in the Amazon, and many locals avoid urinating in the river out of deep-rooted fear. The legend of the kangaroo is so infamous that even people who have never been to South America have heard of it. It may be small, but it carries a mythic reputation that few predators ever reach. Because they're so difficult to see in the water, these parasitic fish find it very easy to discover and latch onto their prey, usually by swimming directly into their gills and sucking on their blood. Of course, the prey dies pretty quickly, and the kangaroo head off to their next target. For humans, the experience is no less painful. Smaller specimens are generally known to insert themselves into a human's urethra, the urinary tube. If that happens, you need a medical professional immediately, although if you need me to tell you that, you're probably going to experience this kind of thing more than once. It's easy to see why the kangaroo is so feared by locals. This parasite can kill just about any fish that it touches, and it can get humans to have surgery on there, That's the power of a predator. That's the kangaroo attitude of a can-do kangaroo, if you will. Come on, that one was pretty good. That was a home run. Number 7. Redbellied Piranhas. Anybody with half a brain knows that any kind of piranha is going to be deadly, but the red-bellied piranha is a whole other level of terror. Well, actually, that depends on who you ask, but I think even the most rational person will tell you to be careful. The red-bellied piranha is in many of South America's lakes and rivers, but they're particularly notorious in the Amazon. These fish are equipped with razor-sharp, triangular teeth that interlock perfectly, designed to shear through flesh like a set of biological scissors. Their bites are lightning-fast and powerful for their size. Pound for pound, they have one of the strongest bite forces of any bony fish. During dry seasons when water levels drop and food becomes scarce, piranhas become significantly more aggressive. This is often when most attacks on larger animals, and yes, humans, occur. They're also known to go into a feeding frenzy, where the entire school rapidly devours prey in mere seconds. Locals say the water can go still, then suddenly boil with thrashing silver bodies and red-stained currents. Despite their fearsome reputation, red-bellied piranhas are shy and often flee from disturbances. Still, corner one, and you'll quickly see why they're one of the river's most feared predators. Researchers studying them have even had to use metal-reinforced cages to avoid losing equipment. These animals are known to hunt in schools of over 100 piranhas, which is pretty frightening just in itself. Generally, these fish tend to eat other fish or animals like shrimp, worms, or mollusks, but it's not unheard of for them to pursue larger prey. Given that they can grow up to 14 inches long, many locals will tell you stories of human swimmers that got chewed up by a school of hungry piranhas. Modern scientists like to downplay the piranha's reputation, claiming that the stories of humans being eaten by piranhas are mostly unverified. But mostly does not mean entirely, and these animals are clearly very deadly. Let this be a lesson to all of you Amazonian swimmers. You're on the menu. Number 6. Pacu. Remember when people were freaked out about Sonic the Hedgehog having human teeth? Well, if you're one of those people, you're not going to like this. The pacu is a piranha-like fish that has freakishly human-like teeth. For lack of a better word, weird. On paper, the pacu is nothing to be feared. Sure, It's related to the piranha, but this fish is listed as an omnivore, meaning it's perfectly happy to eat plants. Its flat, molar-like teeth are ideal for crushing seeds, fruits, and the occasional crustacean, giving it a diet that's surprisingly balanced for a river monster. Native to the Amazon and Orinoco river basins, pacus can grow up to 3 feet long and weigh more than 50 pounds. That's a lot of fish with a lot of teeth. They're even known to leap out of the water to snatch low-hanging fruit, and when food is scarce, they'll get a little more creative. This includes nibbling on anything unfamiliar in their space, like the limbs or clothing of unsuspecting swimmers. Invasive populations have shown up as far away as Papua New Guinea and the US, often after irresponsible pet releases. In those regions, they've become a serious ecological concern, outcompeting native fish and confusing locals with their creepy grins. And while they're not typically aggressive, their curiosity can quickly become a nightmare. They tend to spend their time chewing on nuts and small animals, so there's nothing to be afraid of, right? Wrong. In some areas of the world, these fish are known as ball cutters due to their habit of mistaking, men's genitals for nuts. Yeah, some unfortunate Brazilian swimmers and fishermen lost their nuggets thanks to these things, and those human teeth are fixed to some very crushing jaws. Sorry to make you squirm, guys. While the pacu may not be as aggressive as its meat-eating cousin, they're still pretty notorious for being deadly. I guess what I'm saying is you better have some. If you're going to go hunting for the pacu, just be prepared to come back with less than you once had. Number 5. Black Cayman. If there had to be one reason people don't want to go swimming in the Amazon, the black cayman may be it. Often mistaken for a crocodile or an alligator, this giant reptile is the largest predator in the whole Amazon ecosystem. You do not want to mess with this big boy. The black cayman is one of the world's most giant reptiles, often reaching up to 17 feet long and weighing up to 1,000 pounds. Its armored skin is dark, nearly jet black, helping it blend in with the murky waters of the Amazon River during nighttime hunts. With eyes adapted for low light and a bite force strong enough to shatter bones, it prefers to strike in total silence. Black caimans feed on anything they can overpower, including monkeys, capybaras, deer, birds, and even large anacondas. Their powerful jaws snap shut with such force that prey rarely has a chance to escape. Young caimans often fall prey to other predators, but once they grow large enough, they become the kings of the river. Their nesting behavior is also fierce. Females will aggressively guard their eggs and hatchlings from any threat. Some locals believe black caimans are cursed or spiritually dangerous, giving them a feared status in folklore. Unlike some other predators, they do not stalk, they ambush, lurking just beneath the surface in absolute stillness until it's too late. But their size doesn't really have a lot to do with why they're so deadly. These animals, much like their alligator brethren, are apex predators. They have no real predators in their natural habitat. While some jaguars and otters have been known to take down the black cayman, these instances are rare and exceptional. Generally speaking, animals aren't smart enough to keep their distance, knowing that the black cayman is entirely fearless. The black cayman, like alligators and crocodiles, tends to just take what it wants. That means if a clueless visitor happens to get too close, they better say goodbye to their foot or their life. Apex predators are like lawyers or judges. They don't play fair, and they have absolutely no sense of humor. I bet the cayman wouldn't even let you finish a knock-knock joke. Number 4. Vampire fish. Legend tells that one time in his life, Dracula attempted to go vegan. That didn't take, so he instead switched to a pescatarian lifestyle. That didn't really work either, but the fish he tried to eat apparently survived and became a vampire. I can't prove it, but that totally definitely happened, and those teeth, just look at those cavities. The Payara fish is also known as the vampire fish thanks to its unique and, toothy appearance. Those saber-like fangs can grow up to 6 inches long and actually slot into special holes in the upper jaw, so the fish can close its mouth without impaling itself. It hunts by sensing movement and lunging forward with lightning speed, jaws open wide, skewering prey like a living harpoon. Payara are commonly found in the fast-moving waters of the Amazon and Orinoco River basin. They often lurk in eddies and behind submerged rocks, waiting for the perfect moment to ambush. Some anglers refer to them as water wolves because of their vicious strikes and relentless fighting spirit. Their body is sleek and torpedo-shaped, built for sudden bursts of speed. Even their scales are tough and reflective, helping them blend into the glittering chaos of a rushing river. For locals, they're both feared and admired, and for good reason. This unique fish's most noticeable feature is those 2 long fangs, typically used to impale their chosen prey. But they're also built for power and speed, with notoriously aggressive behavior toward their unfortunate victims, be it small fish or the biggest water-dwelling animals. And being solitary animals, they're not even friendly to other fish. In fact, if they're held in captivity with other fish, they'll kill them just about all of the time. Dracula would be proud. Luckily for us, the vampire fish is not out looking for blood or seeking to build an army of creatures of the night. Instead, they're just looking to terrify and kill any species it happens to stumble across. And Dracula would approve of that, wouldn't he? Number 3. River stingrays. By now, you've probably figured out there are a lot of fearsome animals in the Amazon, so what's one more? The Amazon freshwater stingrays are apparently so frightening that they're one of the most feared animals in all of South America, the whole continent. Like most stingrays, the Amazonian species is most known for its barb-tipped stinger, capable of ripping through flesh in a matter of seconds. These barbs are serrated and coated in a mucus layer that delivers venom straight into the wound, causing excruciating pain, muscle spasms, and tissue necrosis. In severe cases, the venom can lead to long-term nerve damage or secondary infections if not treated properly. Local fishermen often refer to stingrays as river assassins and tread cautiously when walking in shallow waters. Their flat, disc-shaped bodies allow them to bury completely in riverbeds, making them nearly invisible to the unsuspecting foot. Some stingray-related injuries have even led to amputations when the damage was too severe. Despite their deadly defense, they're quite shy and will typically flee before striking, unless accidentally stepped on. Incredibly, they also possess electroreceptors to detect movement and navigate murky waters. Their camouflage, speed, and venom make them one of the river's most efficient ambush predators. But as if having your skin sliced isn't bad enough, these predators also release a whole lot of deadly venom. So in a way, it's like getting killed twice. What a treat for their unsuspecting prey. Thankfully for humans, stingrays only tend to eat crustaceans and small invertebrates, though that doesn't mean they won't attack or injure humans if you're foolish enough to climb in the river and provoke them. You shouldn't be surprised if they decide to attack. The Amazon River freshwater stingray is feared all over South America, and clearly, that fear is justified. These animals have a gift for killing, and you can't take that away from them because they will kill you probably twice. And I didn't even think that was possible. Number 2. Arapima. Given that it belongs to the bony-tongue family of fish, you would expect the Arapima to be a little bit scary. Well, sure enough, they are horrifying animals, but in the world of the Amazon River, horrifying is the new beautiful or something like that. The Arapima is a streamlined fish that can survive in conditions other species cannot. When the rivers overflow, these fish find themselves in remote areas of the forest where the low oxygen levels tend to kill other species. To cope with these harsh environments, Arapimas surface every 15 to 20 minutes to gulp air, thanks to a primitive lung-like organ in their swim bladder. They're also covered in tough, armor-like scales that can deflect piranha bites and resist attacks from other predators. These scales are so durable that scientists have studied their structure for use in human body armor. During the dry season, Arapimas retreat into shrinking pools and become even more aggressive while defending their territory. Local fishermen have long feared their strength, claiming they can capsize canoes when startled. In some cases, the fish have been seen leaping clear out of the water to snatch birds or insects from low-hanging branches. Their aggressive feeding behavior and lightning reflexes make them extremely difficult to catch. Despite their fearsome reputation, Arapimas are prized as a delicacy, leading to concerns about overfishing and population decline. The Arapima, however, can breathe air with no problem and can survive up to 24 hours outside of the water. The fish on a fly, but that's not why it's dangerous. How this 10-foot-long fish eats is dangerous. When they open their huge mouths, they create a vacuum, pulling in all nearby food. Their tongues and razor-sharp teeth, as well as the second set of nightmare teeth on the roof of their palates, shred their prey to pieces within seconds. The Arapima is one of the most deadly animals in the Amazon River purely based on speed and capability alone. Not only can it rip apart several small fish at once, but it can also survive on land for a whole day. And come on, nobody wants to find a fish with multiple teeth. Absolutely not. Number 1. Green anaconda. You knew it was coming. What kind of list makers would we be if the Amazon's most famous inhabitant wasn't on our list? The green anaconda is a multi-record-breaking predator, recognized as the world's heaviest snake and one of the longest snakes in the world. It's also the star of many B-movies of questionable quality. The green anaconda is native to South America, but it's most known for its home in the Amazon River. These snakes can grow over 30 feet long and weigh more than 500 pounds, making them the undisputed giants of the snake world. Despite their size, they're stealthy hunters, using the murky water and vegetation to remain hidden until it's too late for their prey. Female anacondas are significantly larger than males, which is rare in the animal kingdom and makes them even more formidable. During mating season, multiple males will wrap themselves around a single female in what's called a breeding ball. They are excellent swimmers and spend most of their time submerged, with only their eyes and nostrils above the surface. Their muscular bodies can generate enough force to break bones and stop a heartbeat within minutes. Even jaguars, apex predators in their own right, have been known to fall victim to these powerful snakes. Local legends often exaggerate their size and strength, but the real creature is terrifying enough without the myth. As a non-venomous snake, it kills its prey not by biting but by constricting. As its slender, scaly body wraps around yours, it tightens until you either suffocate or just die of crushed organs. Either way, it's not going to be a pleasant end for you. These animals aren't even picky about what they eat, dining on everything from fish to iguanas and even the notoriously terrifying caimans. The green anaconda is an animal that has absolutely earned its reputation as one of the most fearsome and deadliest animals in the Amazon River. Just about every animal that encounters it ends up dead and digested. I don't know how much more evidence you need. I can't do the math, but I think it all adds up pretty obviously here. Which of these river monsters would you want to avoid the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to check out more awesome videos popping up on your screen right now. See you next time.